Dublin was so little and cute. It was so friendly and everyone knew each other. It was Dublin, Jerome, and Shawnee Hills were just kind of like just a little group.
Dublin was great. It was obviously small town, and that was a super experience growing up. We were small enough that we were a pretty tight community.
Well, Henry and I are lifers. We went all the way through. You were in first grade, right? Yeah. There was probably 30 of us that did that. We were in Cub Scouts together, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. So back then, everybody knew everybody, and there were cliques, but for the most part, we all got along.
We had kids that would move in to the school system, but that was kind of a rare occasion. Unlike, I'm sure, what it is now, just driving down here. I don't know if I went by more roundabouts or schools, but it's amazing the growth that's occurred, and that wasn't the case back then. You know, if you had a new student moving in to your class, that was a big event.
I could walk home from Jerome School. I had to have permission from my parents, but I would say, I'm going to Seeley's store, which was the old general store in Jerome. I would walk down to Seeley's and then walk the 3 miles to home. An 8-year-old could not do that these days.
I grew up on Brand Road, which everybody's like, oh, you're near Murfield. Well, that wasn't even thought of. We used to play Foursquare in the middle of the road, waiting on the school bus in the mornings. And we weren't interrupted very often by cars. That's how quiet it was back in there. So
I used to either, particularly when I got into middle school, it's some walk home or hitchhike. Didn't have to worry about it back then. It wasn't that far, and Gooding was right next to the zoo, and then the famous Dam Site restaurant bar was where the Bogey is now.
270 wasn't completed yet. Early on, we rode our motorcycles out on 270 because it wasn't paved. Then the first part to get paved was between Dublin and Tuttle Crossing. Then we all had cars then.
Parents threw you out of the house at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you didn't have to be home till dark. And so that's what you did. You went and ran and played. If we weren't in the woods running around, we were playing some sport in some field.
we both loved art together. We had an art teacher named Helen Zimmer.
The Zim.
The Zim, and she used to just let us do our thing. In fact, my father was real big on me not taking any college classes because he was like, you're going to do business. So I snuck art and choir, and I never even got credit for it. Gym class was, Barb Headley was awesome, and it was just so different than what people have now. I learned how to swing a golf club. I've learned how to fence.
It was nice to have a well-rounded physical education program as well as art and music. For me, art and music were my retreats. So instead of going to study hall, I snuck up to the art room or went in to sing.
Sports was a big part, at least for me. It seems like you either went the band and theater track or you went the sports track, and at that time in Dublin there weren't that many sports activities to choose from.
I played 4 years of baseball, but in those days, if somebody wanted you to play ball of some kind, you showed up and you played. Whether you weren't good at it or not, it didn't matter. Everybody learned how to play.
The football program I was always involved in, and Bob Farmer was the coach. I had a great experience. I really enjoyed it. Made some, friends through the process. But the practices, particularly two-a-days, were the worst part.
I played football all the way through middle school and freshman year, but when the alarm went off to go to two-a-days my sophomore year, it was like 5 a.m., and I'll never forget it. The alarm goes off. I rolled over, click, I'm done. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to play football. Are you kidding me?
It was a different division. It's not like Dublin now.
What'd you weigh in high school when you played?
I was one of the biggest kids on the team.
195?
195 pounds.
You couldn't even play safety now.
They didn't have a weight facility. If you wanted to work out, you had to buy your own equipment, develop your own program, and not many kids did that.
There might have been like 2 or 3 kids on the entire team over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I remember our senior year, and when the guy was coming to take yearbook pictures, we decided that we were going to see how many pictures we could be in the yearbook on. And if you look at our senior yearbook, you'll see us at everything, even things we weren't in. And if we saw them with the camera, like one time I got on her shoulders, it was like changing classes, and he was taking a picture of changing classes, and here we are walking by, and I'm on her shoulders. I mean, we were just ornery. We had fun.
I was wondering how that came about.
Why I'm in the yearbook so many times? Oh yeah, I'm in Latin club. I couldn't tell you the first Latin word, nothing.
I think we had about 120 in our graduating class, and there was a big component of those people that started in first grade, or at least in grade school.
So that's what we grew up with. We grew up with just really neat people surrounding us.
It was a great time to grow up.
Time flies, yeah. Who'd have thought?
Even at the 20-year reunion, it was like, 20 years, really? You're not, 50 wasn't even on the radar. And in the old days, you'd see those 50-year class reunion pictures, and everybody was just ancient.
Yeah.
Our class is just like a big family, being so little. I don't know, we're just tight. We just love each other. It's just been really, I feel special, like we've really had a gift.